Nice. How are
Hi,
you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me
Oh my
here.
God, of
So nice to
course.
chat with you in this beautiful showroom.
Yeah, we're surrounded by beautiful lights, so what could be
Yes,
wrong?
no, it's a good day.
So, Barbara, you are based on Long Island,
Yes, I
correct? So,
am.
talk a little bit about how long you've been in the industry.
Oh, okay. I have been an interior designer for almost 25
Okay,
years.
congrats.
I started off in fine arts before that, and I love what I do.
Good. I love that. You started in fine arts, so how
Mhm.
did that translate into interior design?
That's a good question. Everything that I learned in fine arts, I just brought with me into my interior design business. And, instead of using a canvas, it's a room. I'm still creating a composition. I'm still have to think about color and textures and lighting and balance and proportion. And, when you're painting a picture, it's how your eye moves through the picture. Now it's how your eye moves through a room.
I love that.
So everything really just
Carried
transferred
right
over.
over. That's awesome. So over the last 20 years or so, is there something that has stayed consistent in your approach, and what has evolved in your business?
Another good question. Well, what has stayed consistent is my design philosophy. I've always felt that a home has to be your sanctuary. So it not only has to be beautiful and look good, but it has to feel good. And you should be surrounded with things that you love in it, and that a home should reflect its owner who lives
It's
there.
very true because they're actually living there.
They're
It's
living there,
not a
not
museum.
right,
It's
right,
not.
exactly. So that has always been my
I love that.
philosophy. I want it to be a feel-good room,
Mhm.
a feel-good home. What's evolved is the way I get there. Of course, the more experience you have,
Right.
the better you are, and at the process,
Hmm.
and and also you have more confidence
Of
and
course.
more experience with, when things go wrong, you can solve the problems, because we know in this business there's a lot of moving parts and things do go wrong.
Always.
So yeah, so I think how I've grown, a lot of professional development.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. So your work speaks a lot about creating homes, like you said, that feel calm, balanced, and very personal to your clients. What does that look like for you in practice when you start a new project and you meet a new client?
When I meet a new client, well, I really take the time to listen to what they want, learn how they live, and so I want to know what they want, what they need, and through that I can design for them so that it's going to be a home that functions well for them.
So once you get to know the client, now you got the money, the finances, the decision. So how do you build that trust with your clients, especially on maybe larger projects that span over a longer period of time? I'm sure it evolves, but those early decisions, how do you build that trust?
So it's funny. I don't know that. I mean, I do it, but it's not intentional. It just happens.
Just happens.
I think I'm a good communicator. That's important. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it.
That's important.
I tell them what to expect, and they just learn that I have their best interest in mind all the time. I'm a team with them.
Yeah.
It's us together getting to the end result.
Yeah.
And my clients, many of them have been in my life since the beginning.
Wow.
Which I love. I've
Yeah.
done their houses a few times.
Love that.
I've done their children's houses, so they end up being like family.
Right,
It
right.
feels like part of my Barbara Rose family.
Right. I mean, you're fully immersed in their life, their
Yes.
kids, especially
Yes.
if you've done one house and the next or a
Yeah,
vacation home.
yeah.
You've been there through
And
it all.
and then if you get used to talking to them every day, and then the project's over, and I actually go through withdrawal. I miss them. So.
Oh my gosh, I can't. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
it.
you
I
miss
get
them.
it.
You get so used to it.
Yeah. How does
But
the referral process, like, how do you get new clients? Does it come from a lot of referrals, or
it's only
Oh,
referrals.
it's only referrals?
I
Okay.
don't advertise at
Okay.
all.
Okay.
I've been really fortunate.
That's
I have a
awesome.
lot of work. I'm busy, and it's all word of mouth.
That's awesome.
And then it's word of mouth. It's repeat, and then it's my clients' kids as they grow up. And when you've been in business for a long time, you just kind of mushroom.
Yeah. if you could describe your perfect client, your perfect job that you got offered tomorrow, what would that look like?
Oh, I have so many perfect clients. I love all my clients. I don't know. The perfect client, I think the perfect client is one that listens and trusts me. Um, Not that I ever want to put my personal taste in their home. I really work very hard to make the house their personal
Right.
taste. And I'll say to them, I will tell you, it doesn't matter whether I like it or not, because they'll say, do you like it? It doesn't matter if I do. I'm telling you it works.
That's a very interesting comment, though, because you hear some of these designers say, "Oh, that's not my style."
Right.
Right. I walk them around this showroom. I show them
matter.
lighting, and they're like, "That's not my style."
Right.
But you're saying you don't want your style input in for your clients at all.
I want their house. I want them to love their house. I want it to be their style.
Right.
So I'm going to help them figure out what works. It doesn't matter if I like it or not. I'm not living there. They are.
And ultimately, you're putting beautiful things together that work together, and it looks beautiful.
It's going to be beautiful in the end.
Yeah,
right.
Of course.
Exactly.
Of course.
But it's not it might not be my personal style, and
Right.
it shouldn't be.
Right. That's why they hired you.
That's
to
right.
Get it out of them and make it happen.
Right. That's right.
Right. So when it comes to finishing a space, how do elements like lighting, furnishings, and style help bring the emotional feel of the room to life?
What you're talking about is the icing on the cake. So lighting is going to set the mood, and everything else is going to give the room personality. And it should reflect my clients who live there. It should be their personality that's getting reflected. So, yeah, and that's it's those things are so important. And when you get to the end of the project, I think a lot of times people do like the main things, and then they think they're done. If they don't have a designer, and it's the last things that just bring it together. And it's the light that dances off the wallpaper and make it shimmer, and the fabrics, and the art that goes on the wall. So those are all like the most important things in the end.
Well, I have a question, totally off not off script, but when designing a space, when does the lighting selections come into play?
I usually do it last.
You usually do it last. Okay.
Yeah, because I think that's just the way my mind works.
Yeah.
Because it's like putting the hat on the table, like the chandelier. So you want to know what your table looks like. Right. You want to know what your colors are around it. And then that last part is going to just, make it. That's how it is for me.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. If you were to tell Barbara Rose, who's starting off her career, something that you would like her to know after years of experience, what is something that you would tell young Barbara Rose?
Okay, so I would tell young Barbara Rose to network and take advantage of all the professional development that's offered in the industry, and get yourself out there. Because I didn't really start doing that till much later.
Okay.
Probably because I had children, and although it wasn't a hobby, it was a business, I still was a mom first, and your time is limited.
Yeah.
But I should have made time, because what you get, and going to market. I mean, this is just amazing. Yeah. You just get your creative juices flowing.
Absolutely.
And you're training your eye. Absolutely. You're seeing all these beautiful things, and your eye gets trained to see what nice things look like, and see the trends, and I don't know that as a young designer I knew how important all of that was, and now I do.
Yeah, it's true. It's always so much easier to say, I'm too busy, I can't make time for it, because let's face it, nobody has enough hours in the day. There's always something else we can be doing.
And you're raising a family.
Yeah, especially. And to step away from that seems a little scary, but you're saying that it's paid off, and it was worth it for you to invest in yourself and your community and learn, all of the resources and everything like that. So how many years have you been coming to High Point Market?
I would say about 5.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just wonderful. Yeah. I love the atmosphere here.
Of course.
And you go home so charged up and ready to work.
Absolutely.
So it's great.
All right. Well, Thank you, Barbara.
Thank
This
you
has
for
been
having me.
oh my God, it's been so nice. And we're here in the beautiful Christorama showroom.
Yeah,
so
it's really
go.
great.
You
Let's
have,
shop.
let's go.
Let's
Yeah, I
go
was gonna say
shop.
we'll show you the new stuff and you can
Yeah.
touch and feel and bring it back to your clients and say,
Great.
this is what we
Thank
need.
you. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, thank you.